Alright. So, hello everyone, my name is Grafa. I am no one. And so today we have a new patch. And we've been gunning for a new patch for a while. Like we've been dry without any content in the Battlegrounds for a bit. And yeah, we finally got it. And the patch is gonna come out 2 hours from now. But anyway, I just want to talk a bit about it because this is a very, very, very big patch. But I want to talk specifically about the Dark Moon prizes. So what are the Dark Moon prizes? Well, in the Battlegrounds right now, we can only play minions, pretty much. Minions and hero power generated cards and all that jazz. But with this patch, they're introducing spells. They're introducing these Dark Moon prizes that get given to us every 4 turns. And why is that impactful? It's very interesting because we get a certain amount of spells. We discover one out of like a prize of like 7 or 8 cards, and we get to use that spell right away, or we can choose to keep it later for whatever reason. But most of these spells have impacts that will last the rest of the game or will affect the current state of the board. And why is this interesting? Well, right now, the name of the game in Battlegrounds is speed. Everything revolves around the mid game now, and a lot of people don't make it all that far. And this is important because the Dark Moon prizes add another layer of variance to the minions and to the combat styles of different heroes and throughout the turns. So since these come out every 4 turns, you're going to be expecting something. You're going to be expecting your opponent to have something that you're not expecting, or you're going to be expecting that opponent to suddenly gain some sort of power shift or some sort of growth in their ability to play the game. And later on, we'll go through them. But the thing that I want to get across right now is that this is now another layer of the game that will show not just on the board. And that is not necessarily good for Battlegrounds, but it is good in the sense that now it's not going to be such a simple game. It's often said that for the first how many turns of the game, there is no thought. There is no brain behind it. You buy 1 minion on turn 1, you level on turn 2, you buy a minion or roll twice and buy a minion on turn 3 or buy 2 minions, and the game is pretty straightforward from there, unless you're playing like some sort of hero that has a very specific 1 mana cost power that makes using that hero power and buying a second minion on turn 2 more valuable than actually leveling. But those are some fringe cases, and for the most part, yeah, the early game, there is not much variance to it. You buy a minion, you level, you buy 2 minions maybe, or do that, and it's just simple. All right, but now on a turn 4, and it's still the same thing, but now on turn 4 you usually now get to have a bit more thought behind your process, because in prize turn 1 you get a lot of different choices that will affect how you play that turn and possibly the rest of the game. So what are these choices? Well, okay, so looking at prize turn 1, there are 7 choices. You have Big Banana, give a minion +2/+2, it's very simple. Pocket Change, which is basically add 2 gold to your hand. Might of Stormwind, give your minions +1/+1. Gotcha Gift, discover a minion from Tavern Tier 1. The good stuff, give minions in Bob's shop +1 health for the rest of the game. Rocking and Rolling, your next 3 refreshes cost 0. And New Recruit, add a minion to Bob's Tavern Tier for the rest of the game. Now, some of these are literally just in the moment. Some of these are literally just going to happen right now. The buffs, they happen right now. Discovering a turn 1 minion, they happen right now. They have an immediate effect on your board, but some of these are meant to last the rest of the game. I'm not sure if New Recruit persists throughout the Tavern tiers, but if it does, that means now you get an extra minion every time on your board. Every time in Bob's Tavern, which is huge if you plan on playing a long game, right? More rerolls. Like it's basically like how many minions you save on refreshes every time. Or the good stuff, which is you get +1 health for the rest of the game on all of your minions, right? In Bob's Tavern. So you have to buy one, but you know that +1 health may mean the difference in such a game right now where all stats matter. Or you may be ecoing it. You may be saving up your money. You may be saving up your gold for later turns. So you may want pocket change, or you may want rocking and rolling, which saves you money on refreshes. So lots of these have different end game strategies, and you may want to build around what you get on prize turn 1. And you do get to discover these prizes earlier and first at the beginning of your turn, every turn, on every 4 turns. Now, that's very interesting, and we're gonna go into prize turn 2, and I'm gonna go through these prizes for a bit. But yeah, so prize turn 2. What's prize turn 2? 8 different cards. On the house, discover a minion from your current tavern tier. Now, if you are a character that or if you are a hero that prefers to level up quickly, or has a strategy to leveling up quickly, or has a reason to, like Maiev or Omu or someone, then on the house may be really good, because you'll just immediately be able to save it, not use it that turn directly, and then bam, you have turn 5 minion, or you have a turn 6 minion, or you have a tavern 5 minion, or tavern 6 minion, and that's great. Gruul Rises, give a minion at the end of your turn gain +2/+2. That's great, because now you are giving perhaps a taunt, a buffer card that you want to keep. The ability to scale itself. Something like Light Fang, something like Major Domo, something like Iron Sensei, something like Bran, something like Baron Riven there. These cards you plan on keeping, you plan on having them there, but they don't have their own scaling. Well, now they do. And now they're not just going to be a liability on the board every single time. Evolving Tavern, replace all minions in Bob's Tavern with ones of a higher tavern tier. So something along the lines of like fast leveling again, or maybe you want to keep this and you plan to make a play and you need this really good or strong turn 6 minion. Well, then maybe you can just keep this until you have tavern tier 5, and then you can immediately use that right away, right? Great deal. For the rest of the game, reduce the cost of upgrading Bob's Tavern by 2 at the end of your turn. This is something that's going to benefit characters that prefer to stay on lower tavern tiers for whatever reason, and will make the leveling cost a lot cheaper. And if you really think about it, if you get this, let's say in your tavern tier 2 or tavern tier 3, this is going to save you 6 gold or maybe 8 gold throughout the rest of the game, and that is not impactful, especially with some breakpoints of where you want to be leveling. That may be just really strong. Time Thief, discover a minion from your last opponent's warband. Now, this isn't a find a minion that you want, it is a discover a minion, and then you get to add it to your hand, right? So you may see some sort of, if you're playing Murlocs and you see your opponent has a Murloc game, then yeah, maybe you want that. Or if you see something specific and you want to go for a gamble, then yeah, it's really good, really powerful, really strong. Brand's Blessing, now this is a really strong one that's going to require a lot of thinking, but your battle cries trigger twice this turn. Now, maybe you're playing Murlocs. Maybe you're playing Murlocs and you haven't found your Brand yet. You have Brand's Blessing, you stock up those Murlocs, or you use them all, and suddenly you have a board that is scaled up, ready to fight without a Brand. And that's just something. Or maybe you're playing some completely different build. Maybe you're playing something like Menagerie, and you have all the jugs. And you're just you just want these battle cries to get as much value as you can in the moment. Brand's Blessing might just be what you're looking for. The Unlimited Coin, this is a gain 1 gold this turn only, return this at the end of your hand. It's like it comes back every turn, so basically you have extra gold every turn, which is really great. And the Bouncer, give a minion +5/+5 and taunt. And taunt is going to be something that's really important, but I won't get to this in this video because I want this to be mainly about the spells. But give a minion +5/+5 and taunt is not anything to scoff at, especially since the new Battleground cards that are getting added to the game, the new neutral minions, are all, not all of them, but a big majority of them are going to play around taunt. So having this taunt is really good, and maybe that +5/+5 is something that you desperately need in that moment, or you really need it on a Divine Shield minion, or maybe you have an Amalgadon with Poisonous. The Bouncer might just be very important and very strong. Prize turn 3. Now this is turn 12. Oh, something I forgot to note, that in turn 2 this is turn 8, and in turn 8 the sad thing is that in the majority of Battlegrounds game there's gonna be 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe even 4 people who are dead on turn 2. Now hopefully the turn 1 prizes are going to be enough to stale the game, but if you live to turn 2, at least you're not dying possibly on turn 9 or turn 10. That might be a point of contention. A lot of people don't make it currently to prize turn 3 in this current metagame, so it's something to take note of. But yeah, these cards make it these cards are very much not going to be played to a lot of majority of the people who play Battlegrounds. Just by nature of the game, people get knocked out. So don't bank on your prize turn 3 cards if you are very, very weak. Focus on the mid game, focus on your current turns, and but obviously, you know, if you feel like you have a chance, or maybe you're going for a play, like high risk, high reward play, then yeah, go for it. But for the majority of people, who are barely winning their games or just winning 50-50 games or whatever, prize turn 3 is when you start to not be able to get there anymore. Majority of people will not see these prizes, but they are. I'm still gonna mention them, of course. You know, gotta milk this video somehow. But give a minion Divine Shield. That is really strong. It stays. It stays. You just get to give any minion you want Divine Shield, and this is very interesting because now people will have the George effect, even though they aren't playing George, right? So they might have, let's say, for example, Curator, right? Curator somehow gets to the late game. There are no mechs. But there are Murlocs. He gives his Amalgam a poisonous. Now it suddenly has Divine Shield with this, and that may just be the difference between life and death. Or you give your taunt minion Divine Shield, and then suddenly now your opponent takes 2 hits to go through it, right? It's something. Ice Block. Now Ice Block's very important because secret, when your hero takes fatal damage, prevent it and become immune this turn. This is an extra turn. This may be the difference between you getting 4th place or 3rd place or 2nd place. And if you're already losing, you're probably not going to get 1st place, but what the heck. The thing about Ice Block is that, and it says this in the patch notes, if you scroll down a bit, playhearthstone.com, only one player can discover Ice Block on turn 3, but it can also be created by Big Winner, which is prize turn 4. But for what it is, only one player can have Ice Block. So when you see someone if you're fighting someone and they have Ice Block, you have to know now, okay, no one else has Ice Block, I can kill them or something. Maybe you're going to change your strategy accordingly. I don't know. I'm still just a rat in the cage, double a minion's attack. And this might be very, very important because right now, from how I'm feeling it, an Island Battlemaster is going to be a really, 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 really strong card because of all the taunt buffs, because of all the buffs to taunt cards, and an Island Battlemaster is one of the strongest cards to buff because it's like one of those comeback mechanics, which is really strong. And a lot of what is happening right now are comeback mechanics. They are letting you come back in the game when you least expect it or later on. And that's really great for Darkmoon Faire. So double minion attack, you might double your Battlemaster's attack. You might double like some sort of mech. If you have a Divine Shield mech, or if you have a refresh, that might be very strong to double its attack. It's really strong. Or a Cleave, and the next card is also going to be really strong against Cleave. Bananas. Fill your hand with bananas. This is at least +10/+10 if you don't have any other cards. But if big bananas are part of it, which I am not sure if they are, this might be +20/+20, and that is nothing to scoff at. Of course, +20/+10 is like very, 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 very impossible, and that's only if big bananas are included. But if not, +10/+10, hey, I'll take it. You know, that is nothing to scoff at all. In games where stats matter, if you are fighting a person and like if you have just one stat extra more than them, then they're gonna lose because they just won't have enough. So bananas might be something worth contending if you're fighting like dragons v dragons or something. Training session, discover a new hero power. This is actually a very interesting one because there are some heroes who have 1 cost hero powers, right? Not 1 cost, 1 use hero powers. Someone like Reno, someone like Sky Captain Crag. Training session will just be very, very powerful in those hands because hey, I don't have a hero power, might as well just move on, right? Repeat customer, return a friendly non-golden minion to your hand, give it +2/+2. This might be useful in conjunction with like a battle cry build. This might be useful in conjunction with something like an Island Battlemaster. It's just useful overall in the sense it's not your first pick. It's certainly not my first pick, but it's still something. Still something that may be useful. And maybe that +2/+2 may matter on some sort of like minion, but yeah. All that glitters, make a random minion in Bob's Tavern golden. So I guess what you can do here is you can buy the other minions and then use this card so that there's only on the last minion that you are waiting to buy on Bob's Tavern. It's very, very random, but the great thing about this is that it still does give you the golden effect once you buy the minion and play it. So that just may be something that's very, very, very important. And lastly, top shelf, discover a minion from Tavern turn 6, tier 6. And yeah, obviously if you have like if you're playing a dragon build, if you're looking for that last Nadina, if you're looking for that last Amalgadon, that may be something. That may be something. Price turn 4, this is like literally the 1v1 situation. No one is alive at this turn. Half of the, like 90% of games don't even make it here. Like this this is just when you're trying to outplay each other 1v1, but it's still, they're all still very interesting cards, right? They're all still very like powerful and it's fun to, I want to be able to play these, right? I want to be able to get these, but yeah, we'll see. So friends and family discount for rest of the game. Minions in Bob's Tavern cost 1 less. Something that I really want to try is with Millhouse, that instead of costing 2, minions will cost 1, and therefore you can buy every minion you get and then play it and then refresh for 2. Essentially, in 1 turn, if you're in Millhouse, you can buy every single minion. And all your gold is only limited by something like refreshes. So that's so interesting, especially if like you're playing a Calicos build. That's just something to take note of. But yeah, open bar, your first 5 refreshes each turn costs 0. So basically, the longer the game goes, from turn 16, by the way, you will get 5 refreshes. You will get 5 extra gold in refreshes, which is really good. If you're looking for something very specific, or if you have certain cards that you're looking for, like Murloc buffs, or maybe like some sort of like menagerie buffs or anything. Raise the stakes, make a friendly minion golden, and return to your hand. So not only are you making a minion that you already have golden, doubling its effect, doubling its base stats, and doubling its effectivity on the board, you also get a golden, you also get the golden effect of getting a triple in your hand. You get a Tavern tier 6 card, at this point probably a Tavern tier 6 card, which is also great, right? And if you, this is your, this is if you have gone all in, maybe you can raise the stakes, bring back a card, and now you have a buffer slot. Now you have a slot where you can use to buff other minions, and you don't have to be guilty about it, which is really great, because something that happens is that, okay, turn 16, well, yeah, you have 7 really strong minions, and you can still get stronger, but you have to sell 1 minion off to get, and you don't have a replacement for it. So raise the stakes might just be really important in that 1v1 scenario. Fresh tab, refresher gold, this is literally just get 10 gold, you know, after you've used all of it. So still great, very awesome. Fresh tab, yeah, it's just 10 gold. If you plan to win the game and you don't, it's just there, you know, 10 gold. Yeah, sure, why not? Argent Braggart, Battlecry, gain attack and health to match the highest in the battlefield. Now, this is that buffer slot that is missing. A lot of these times, if you're going for turn 16 plays, these usually are not one-sided at all. You're doing very meager damage to each other. You're figure out ways to outplay each other. You both still have a lot of high health and stuff, and it comes down to stats more often than not, because if it was something down to like poisonous divine shield or whatever, then the game would have been over even earlier than that, because if you had no chance of winning, then it wouldn't matter. But Argent Braggart is something that, hey, this is playing into the stats. It will copy the attack and health, only the attack and health of the highest minion in the battlefield. I am not sure if this will include enemy minions, probably not. So this will probably only include your minions, because it's a battle cry. So it will copy literally the strongest minion you have in terms of stats. And if you're playing something like dragons or elementals, that may be impactful. Or maybe Murlocs. You are copying maybe 100 in terms of stats. And that is nothing to scoff at, depending on what you're playing. So Argent Braggart, plus it deals 6 damage, and in a game like that, probably it doesn't matter anymore how much damage you're dealing, but maybe it does. Maybe it does that you finish them off with like 30 damage or something, I don't know. Big winner, discover a Dark Moon prize from each of the previous turns. So basically now, Big Winner has a chance to discover a Dark Moon prize from the previous prizes, so you get a chance of seeing 3 other prizes, they're not as strong as turn 4, but maybe that's what you're going for. Maybe you're looking for an ice block, maybe you're looking for Brand's Blessing, maybe you're looking for rocking and rolling, maybe you're looking for a specific 1-drop. I don't know why you didn't want Gacha Gift, but you know, it's there. The choice is there, and if you know what exactly you're looking for, you can play for it, right? You can play for that exactly, and Big Winner is good. It's good. And lastly, give a dog a bone. Give a friendly minion Divine Shield, Wind Fury, and +10/+10. Very straightforward, very powerful Divine Shield and stats. You can't complain about that, but also Cleaves will just be very insane with this if you already have a scaled mech cleave, or even a beast cleave, a cave hydra, or maybe you have that raging fire elemental, the one that deals its over damage in damage to another adjacent minion or something. That might just be very powerful. And this also might work with something like pirates, where pirates matter on attack order. So having that Wind Fury and having that Divine Shield may matter because, hey, you get to attack twice, right? And okay, so lastly, before I end this video, I just want to go over something that I feel like is important. Lately, Battlegrounds has not hit the state, but Hearthstone in general. Hearthstone in general has sort of hit a rough patch wherein people are losing faith in the developers a bit because of the new progression system. Now, what I love about what I love about what they're doing right here in Battlegrounds with Darkmoon prizes is that it is not something that I feel like could be done if they didn't care. And what do I mean by this? Well, Battlegrounds, if they really could just want to milk it, if they really just wanted to play off the success that they were already having, they could have just added more minions. They could have added new heroes. They could have just added a new minion type. You know, they could have added totems or something instead of like, since elementals just got added recently. And they could have just done that. They could have gone over the original problems, which is like, hey, heroes are getting the heroes are getting outscaled. The player base is getting faster and better at playing the mid game, or just in general. They could be just finding the most efficient way possible to play the game and not waste any gold and stuff. And we could just be doing that, and they could just milk that, right? Like, it was getting old where we just get, hey, a new minion and then a new hero, and then that hero becomes top, and then rinse and repeat. We find a new minion or a new hero, and then eventually, you know, older things to get removed and stuff. And I was honestly expecting just that to happen. I was just honestly expecting like maybe new heroes and stuff, maybe a bit more new minions, although I wasn't expecting this many. But what we have seen right now with these spells is something that cannot be done if they were not thinking about the game. And that is something that maybe we don't give the developers enough credit for, and maybe we don't give them enough credit for it. Yeah, exactly. We're not giving them any chances. Now, the progression system is still much to a lot of people's dissatisfaction or unsatisfaction, still not enough. It's still not the best, but at least with Battlegrounds, they're trying. And especially with this patch with spells, you can see that they are expanding the possibilities of Battlegrounds. That they're not just staying with the old formula, that they're trying, that they're trying out new things, that they're making innovations. And that's great. That is what Blizzard is all about, and that is something to note. And yeah, that's just something important, and I felt like that had to be said and have to give credit where credit is due. But yeah, that is the Darkmoon Fair prizes. I just want to talk about this because they are very interesting with how they affect the game, how they affect the current game, and how they will affect future heroes, because they affect heroes that also currently exist, and that's great, without directly having to nerf or buff those heroes. Something like AFK may become stronger, something like Jandis or whatever. Those heroes that have fallen off largely may become better now, just specifically because of the prizes and their interaction with these prizes, right? So that is something to note. Like, I am very scared for Gruul rules with Amalgam, with Curator. That is something to note. That is something to be scared of, because you will now be facing what may be guaranteed an Amalgadon every fight against Curator. That's just something to be scared of. And these interactions will add a layer of depth to Battlegrounds that we were not expecting to have, or we were not expecting to gain. So yeah, that's great. That is awesome, and good job, developers. This patch will come out, and hopefully we'll get to have a bit more fun in the game. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Toodles, goodbye, take care, stay safe, stay warm, and I'll see you guys later.